What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Her Lounge podcast. I am so excited today. We are having a girl talk episode. I like these. I like having these with Marissa. I think we have
fun, boo.
Good convo, huh?
But we do it all the time.
Yeah, Marissa and I do talk all the time. I get a text from Marissa at 7 a.m. almost every day just so that everybody knows. And it's
random shit.
It's random shit. It really is. But it's funny because when you wake up and then you see that, you're like, man, this girl.
Why did this girl
She
do
is
that?
up and at it early in the morning.
I wake up at like fucking 4:30.
Why? I know. Because your texts come in at 6:48, 7:10. I'm like, wow, what are you doing?
Because that's my time to fucking have a half a second to myself. So I try to wake up early.
Hey, Bernie Sanders, move your cup, move your mug.
Shit. That is my moment to just...
Okay, I'm not going to lie. I see those on Mom's episode, like a day in a life, my morning routine, and just the moms that purposely wake up at 5 a.m. just to have their alone time before their child wakes up.
But I also have to plan my day, too. I have to because...
But in the morning, why don't you do it at night?
At night, I'm
That's you?
on another planet.
Okay, well...
So I gotta
see. I do mine at night. So Pete and I will sit down.
Me too. But you know what? My husband's out of town, and I have a really tough time sleeping. So I'm.
That's me when he's out of town.
I'm like sleep. Then I wake up. I get the gun. I'm like,
I'm 3 a.m. 3:28. I'm like, I gotta go to bed. I've got to go to bed. Yeah. And then I'm like, I'm up when Penny's up. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like I can't go to sleep. But anyway, guys, I'm sorry. We got into our conversations like we usually do. But before we get started, I wanted to start with our quote of the day. And I don't really know if this is motivating or encouraging, but just if you're a little bit of a hater towards another female, maybe this is your sign that you shouldn't be, and maybe you should focus on maybe what's inside of you that's really not working out for you, that's causing you to hate on another female. So with that being said, is the woman who's hustling can never understand the woman who's hating. We don't speak the same language.
Because I'm speaking boss. Okay, so we don't speak the same language.
I just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't spend that much energy on someone's time, like on someone's Instagram or someone's life. Period. Like where do you find all that time to be so hateful?
That's when you're busy. You don't have time. You're worried about how you're gonna fucking eat and what tomorrow looks like, and the next day looks like, and the next day looks like. You don't have time to be.
Yeah, I don't. I barely even get to check other people's Instagram that I want to look at. Does that make sense? Like when you're scrolling, I'll scroll, but then I'm like, these are not even the people I care to even see.
And then you give up.
And then I'm like, this is not what I wanted to see today. Yeah. I was like, okay, so it's like I turn the, then I go to Pinterest. It's like Pinterest is always happy for me.
Yes,
it's like, wow, oh yeah, God, I want to do that to my house. I'm like, man, it's just.
That's my jam.
Yeah, I love Pinterest too. I'm a big, like Pete will be coming to bed and be like, what are you doing? He's like, are you on social media? I'm like, does Pinterest count as social media? I don't think so. It does?
Yes.
Oh my God,
well,
not to me.
Sometimes when I pin things, they're like, you just gotta, I don't know, it gives me some notification about something. People are communicating on Pinterest. So maybe it is social media.
I never communicate with anybody.
I feel like I saw a message
send a
box.
message.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
You can.
So you pin stuff, but can't you have a conversation under the pin?
I think so.
Maybe
not.
yeah.
I don't know. I never noticed.
I've never left a comment, and I just be pinning shit.
I know. Yeah. I pin
That's
the
all
fuck
I do.
out of everything.
If
and then when it says, psst, you've already pinned this.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, my bad.
Thanks, Pinterest.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's me. I'm always like, okay, I'll have an idea in my head, and then I'll like type it in just to see if anybody else has had that idea better than me, which, that's always much the case, because you have an idea and it's like someone else has got to do it better. So then I find them, and then it's like, oh, then someone else did it better than them. And I'm like, yes. So I keep going down this rabbit hole of better ones. And then I come up with my conclusion of what I want at the end of it.
Do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's not like, that's how I kind of like, when people ask like, how do you come up with your creative stuff? Like some people's like, oh, I'll go get a massage. Other people get high. You know what I'm saying? Other people like go jogging. There's just different things.
Everybody does
For
it
me, it's
differently.
like I look at Pinterest. I'll look in a magazine. I'll look at like, sometimes I'll go on like Forever 21 or like brands like that just to see like what's trending when I want to design something new, and I'll just go on there and kind of see, and I'm like, I might want to do that.
We all get ideas from other people.
Yeah, it's so true.
I'll never forget when somebody reached out to me on the Juice Caboose page, and they're like, I have a friend who has a business just like yours, and that toast that you're posting is the toast it's a toast that they make. And I was like, dude, I don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. You know what the toast was? We had an almond toast and an avocado toast. It's got like the almond butter, bananas, and a shitload of berries. I was like, dude, if your friend owns a business called Pinterest, then I totally copied that bitch. But other than that, no. Like, what the fuck, dude? I got my ideas from Pinterest. I am not trying to fucking... It's toast, dude. How many other places in Houston make toast?
I mean, there's a bunch of restaurants that have avocado toast and
taking the bread off their table.
And the reason I kind of thought
haters
about
in every fucking arena, so you know.
Is because the whole thing about is when I posted you guys, this is unbelievable, right? I'm about to tell y'all something. When I posted that we were pregnant, right?
Oh God, no.
Everybody, like I had, not everybody, there was a few, I called you.
I know.
I was like,
Jesus.
You know, people making comments like, 2, really? You're not going to include 3?
I saw that.
And it was like, it's really 3. Guys, I was talking about
me, bitch. Like me.
Like, this is my second baby that I'm carrying.
Out of my fucking body. Yeah. Like, that's all I meant.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with me excluding my bonus baby. Like, I love her. She was my first introduction to motherhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's like with you and the twins, Rob.
Yeah.
Like, what do they mean to you? You know what I'm saying?
They're
It's
mine.
like yours. And that's how I see Mickey. But just because I didn't say, and I feel like if I would have said, thank you, God, for allowing me to be a mother for the 3rd time, I also feel that
like
that's an insult to her mom.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I'm saying? Like, I would have been like, oh, wait, I'm not even acknowledging the fact that she's got her own mother. She's, you know what I'm saying? She did the work, not me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not giving her credit for her child. You know what I'm saying? So she's got her mom. I'm not trying to replace her mom. I'm just trying to be the extra mom that came along and, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to help where I can.
But you know what's wrong with that person? They've got too much fucking time on their hands.
It's like, isn't it sad? I would have included the number 3. And I was like, I think I told you, Rob.
Well,
I made a comment to you. You were the one that told me how to I was like, I'm blocking this person.
Yeah,
it's like, well, you can
restrict.
restrict them. You don't have to block them. I was like, all right, I'm going to restrict them. I'm not going to block them then. Because I said this year, I don't want any negative energy around me. And the minute you're going to start to kind of give me those vibes, I'm going to have to just, because to me, it's not about followers. I really would rather have 1,000
that
genuine
and
followers that just follow me because of me than for me to be having to constantly like talk shit to somebody or defend myself or, you know what I'm saying? I just can't. I don't have the energy for it, number 1. And number 2, I worry about people that have that much hate and that much energy to just put out in the world like that.
And there's so many, boo.
Why?
Because they hate themselves. They hate
childhood trauma.
Yes, girl. That's what it all comes down to. Like, I'm sorry somebody didn't love you right, bitch. But guess what? You can't shit on everybody's fucking parade.
I know. It's just, that's
you
not how it
can't rain
works.
on everybody's parade just because you're mad. Like, why?
This is me, and maybe you see it different. But when I see like somebody that I'm like, damn, that bitch is a badass, I'd be like, okay, so that's how she does that. That's what's up.
Amen.
Damn, bitch. Okay, like for me, I'm not gonna lie. Joanne Gaines for me.
I love her.
I just be watching.
I want to be her.
This bitch just took over Waco. I mean, she
sure
took over
did.
Waco.
She sure did.
Have you guys ever read or heard 1,000 True Fans, the excerpt?
The essay?
Yeah, by Kevin Kelly.
No.
You've never read it? You should really read it. Yeah,
it's
Text
really
me.
good.
Tell me what it is. Tell me the title again. You know I'm going to forget.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Go
I'll text
ahead.
it to you.
I just wanted to bring it up because that's a perfect point.
That's where I got it from.
Yeah.
It's because of that. It's when I read that, I was like, that's so true. I mean, I'd rather have 1,000 amazing followers, you know what I'm saying, who just really are about the same kind of, you know, like vibe as me. We're going to be on the same wavelength and none of this, like, you know what I'm saying? We're human. They just talked about this at church. Man, it's crazy. Sometimes I'll be wondering if that church be knowing what's in my thoughts because they said, you are what you think. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so if you think negative, you're negative, negative output, negative relationships, negative everything. You know what I'm saying? And if you just like
And you attract negativity.
Exactly.
So had you responded to that person in a negative way, they would have just attracted what they were putting out into the universe. Well, so it's good that you...
Yeah. And I remember during this whole time when, it was the whole election thing, everybody had their 2 cents to say. I really had to sit, because at first it was a lot of anger of people attacking. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I just said, you know what? I'm sorry that people just feel that way. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry that you feel that way. I can't help that you feel that way. But if the person that I try to be as real as I can on social media. I don't be putting nothing that ain't real. You know what I'm saying? I don't I just really try my best to just be as honest as possible. When I was doing the whole YouTube and I was trying to vlog, when people be like, this bitch never has makeup on, I just be like, well, damn, this is how I am every day. I don't get up and just doll myself up. When I got errands to run, I got shit to do. I might do a little bun, my clothes look match. But I don't want to wear makeup every day.
People that you just have to not even feel sorry for them bitches. Fuck them. Those are the kind of people that you just have to.
And I just kind of felt like, okay,
ignore.
Damned if you're real, right? If you really show,
damned if you don't.
If you show who you are, and then if you show if you're always dressed up, it's like. Oh, fake ass, always has fake hair.
Bitch always got makeup on.
I bet she's ugly as fuck with no makeup. I'm like, what?
I am ugly as fuck with no makeup, bitch. And how is that your fucking problem?
I just don't get. I'm like, what is going on in the internet world? You know what I'm saying? Where I just feel like sometimes I'll read comments on my husband's account or just different shit.
His comment section is fucking amazing.
I just be looking. I'm just be like,
I'm about to make a whole show off of just that comment section.
And he wants all the fucking smoke because the next video is even more crazy.
It's I just crack up because I'm just like,
oh
man, people just really are that angry right now.
It's like, why are you so mad at him? Why are you putting their address on the fucking internet? The White House address been on the fucking internet for a long time, and none of y'all going over there making no fucking complaints. So what the fuck?
It's just to me, it trips me out.
It's sad
because I just kind of felt like y'all just really tried to turn a positive thing into a negative thing. So that's exactly what my reply was. I said,
negative and a negative is a positive.
Call back to a previous episode.
If you haven't watched that episode, guys, watch it. But I had to say, please don't turn this positive post into something negative and make it seem like I don't acknowledge my bonus baby. As she's very much important to me. But what I meant was, thank you, Lord, for allowing me to carry a baby in my stomach for the second time, allowing me to grow a human. I wasn't gonna disrespect her mom that way either. You know what I'm saying? Make it seem like I had her. So it was just okay, why are you getting so worked up? It's just ignorant people. They're stupid. They don't get it. It is too much time. So just let it go. So that's what I had to do. I restrict them like Rob told me how to do it. I restricted them, and I said, the next time this person has a negative comment to say, I have control of it so no one will get to see it. So that's just kind of how I'm going to deal with things moving forward. I'm going to let you keep following me.
I saw your comment, though.
I did.
When you're like, I like both. I like the ring to that because someone's like, if it's a boy, Donald. If it's a girl, Melania.
Yeah, I said, and I put a laughing face. I said, I love those names.
That's funny.
And my sister-in-law got pissed when she saw it.
No!
She on Facebook, and she got banned from Facebook for 24 hours.
Me too. I don't know how that happened to me.
For what?
Because she said, you little bitch, and went at him for leaving that comment. She was mad. And because of that whole little statement, I had to laugh at it. Because it's like... You guys, you guys, come on!
That's all you can say.
That's all I could do.
Pobrecitos.
I just had to laugh. I just said, "My gosh!" I'm like, you guys are something else. And I just, it is what it is.
It's like all the things to be mad at. There's kids right now getting snatched up. now they're in the sex trafficking, whatever
I know.
the fuck.
We just had that episode.
People are
bruh.
being, I mean, so much real shit's happening right now, and those are the things that they're mad about.
I know.
Like, imagine if you put that energy into reaching out to your, local fucking representative.
Yeah.
The things that you could do and the change that you can make. I don't know, the roads, maybe the, fucking crackheads living in the fucking park. Kids can't even fucking play. I mean, shit like that. Put your energy into. But really, you're in the comments. That was an email that you could have sent your state representative. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I want to say.
Actually, Marissa we were on Clubhouse. She had a little session on there. What are those called?
Just introduced me to it.
It's just a room. It's just a room.
So she had almost like a girls' talk. It was several women in there, and we were just kind of talking about what's going on today, how everybody's divided. You're afraid to say certain things because it just everybody is just has a tampon up their ass. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
those are never good.
Exactly. So it's kind of like how do you stop that? How do you kind of just put a barrier where, hey, we don't have to agree on everything, but you know what? We should be working on change together on the things we do agree on, right? So that we can start making a change in our community. And everybody had a lot of the people on the platform that day were from different walks of life.
Yeah.
Everybody had different political views. Everybody had, but everybody agreed on one thing, and that was that we should work together.
Yeah.
And I think if the media at some point said, let's work together, it might change.
But when there's
right
division,
now, what is they want to reprogram Republicans right now? Well, how about we just reprogram everybody to where everybody wants to do something to make things better.
Exactly.
I mean, the only way the world's going to get better is if we just stop saying I'm this, you're that, or you know what I'm saying, you're black, I'm white, you know what I'm saying? If we just stop, I really feel like what is needed? Where can we work, and how can we fix it? And when you sit down and do those things with people, it brings a different type of unity together. And even if you don't agree on the same political views, I mean, don't you want your children to grow up in a better environment than you did? I don't know. I do.
And that's the thing too, is we have to, like you said, the media has a big role to play in causing division. I mean, as long as there's division, we're not going to be paying attention to what they are bipartisan on under our noses. Well, we're not looking. You got the blue side, you got the red side, but when no one's looking, it's purple as fuck. Okay? And so we keep trying to make it seem like there's differences. Okay, yeah, maybe on the cultural issues, family values, I guess that's a conservative thing and that's not a Democrat thing. I don't know who fucking made that bullshit up. But those stupid little ways that we start to categorize ourselves, as long as we're divided and we're arguing about the fuck shit, we're not going to be paying attention to what they're really fucking doing. They're not that divided.
That's why I love that Tulsi lady.
Oh, Tulsi Gabbard's great.
Man, we were talking about that this morning. I said, if she would have been running against Biden and Trump this year, they're out. She would have won, I feel. I would have voted for her, and I totally would have.
They'll never allow it.
They'll never allow it because she's too real, and they can't stand that she's too real. She tells you
the Democratic establishment cut her out at the knees.
Yeah, because she doesn't take corporate money.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's the problem.
And let me tell you what's crazy. So the last episode that she was on, guys, if y'all don't know who Tulsi, I don't pronounce her, Gabbard.
Yeah.
If y'all haven't heard of her or don't know of her, please go follow her on social media.
Tulsi, last name is Gabbard.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's her.
She was a former congresswoman from Hawaii.
Yes. And just very about the people. She understands. She's a veteran. And her story that she told on this episode of Joe Rogan about the missile from North Korea, how they were scared, and just the examples they gave about this man found a manhole, put his child in there and said, hey, some shit goes down, come look for me after it's over. Can you imagine?
Was that the same one where he had to decide which side of the island he was going to drive to?
Yes, that's the same episode. Yes. I mean, that shit, as a parent, come on now, you know that
it's terrifying.
It's terrifying. Crazy thing. My eyelash girl is a veteran from Hawaii.
Oh,
okay,
wow.
she's Mexican, but I'm sorry, she's Colombian, but that's where she lived the majority of her time. So there was a fire drill in her apartment complex. She goes on her social media and says, I absolutely cannot finish anybody today. She's like, if you've never lived through a siren, you have no idea how bad my PTSD is.
Oh, damn.
And I was telling Marissa, I got chills because now the story that Tulsi Gabbard told on Joe Rogan became super duper real. Not only did I envision what story she told, but now I know someone personally who went through it and legit. I mean, she was hysterical. She's like, I'm so sorry. I'll reach out to everybody who's appointed, just like that, like to where she couldn't finish sentences. She couldn't tell you that she was going to reach out to you to reschedule you. She just said, you don't know what it's like to get this siren alert that there's a missile that's going to hit you. You have no idea if you're going to be alive.
I could just imagine, dude. I feel
What's that look for?
I feel the
No, what? No, I'm like, Marissa over here is just, I'm waiting to see what she's going to say.
But I feel that though. I feel that though. Even though I haven't gone through it, anything that causes you to just stop in your tracks and freeze, something's happened, dude.
Man, when she told me that, when she put that on social media, her eyes were red, like, and she was kind of like pale, where it was
Just PTSD.
just
like a mofo.
PTSD.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because 99% of the time, now I'm starting to think that she probably does a lot of her positive affirmations to herself. Is probably, this is how something she was probably taught when she was going to counseling for PTSD or something, because she is positive like all the time and she's real happy. She's just kind of like goes with the flow. You know what I'm saying? So for me to have seen her like hysterical like that, to where it was like, it
That
just
trauma
came out. It was like,
Yeah.
see guys, those are the kind of things that
we need to
be
on.
talking about.
Yeah.
And there's no one there.
Yeah.
Politicians are not worried about that. They're worried about, and I said I didn't want to talk about this.
They're worried about impeaching Trump. That is tax dollars.
Exactly.
You stupid fucks. There's people who are living on the fucking
Let him
street.
leave. Who gives a fuck? Let him go do whatever he wants to do now.
But
I
you
don't
know
care
what?
about what he's doing now.
But it's all it's the theater that they put on. I mean, it really is this resistance theater. Like they're pretending like they stand for something, but they really kind of don't.
Yeah.
And so they want to give people what they want because we all want a whipping boy, right? We want somebody to blame it on. But Trump was not the cause. He's just the outcome of people being frustrated, not being able to vote against corporate powers that are, the Democratic Party is beholden to corporate powers, the Republican Party as well. People are frustrated. They rolled the dice on a dumb fuck. That is how desperate people are.
yeah.
If they don't realize that by this time, it's like I mean, come on.
And it's like I said,
What is going on?
I've said it to Rob. I've said it to my husband. I've said, if Biden started to do great things, I'm going to be happy.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
not be
Nobody
happy?
wants
Everybody
him to
thinks that
fail.
because you voted a certain way, you're going to be like, oh, fuck him. He's not doing shit for, he thinks he's all that. No, bitch, I want you to do great shit for our country.
Thank you.
I don't care what party you're from. If you're doing great shit where I have a booming economy, I'm doing great. There's not Americans who are out there without jobs right now, not knowing if, they're going to have a job. All those people from California that lost their small businesses.
Golly.
Man, today, this girl that I know from the bodybuilding world, I met her one time in Vegas. It's crazy. We followed each other ever since. Today she posted the most craziest thing, but the comment that got me, it was a good thing, but she lives in California. The comment that got me is what she said. She said she went to downtown LA where there's a lot of those little gift shops that are around there. A lot of the shops are boarded up. And she said a lot of them are immigrant owned, right? We're talking about generations of people, their money coming in to, take care of the next generation. The next generation is like, now they don't have nothing to pass down to their kids. Everything that they came here to work for, right? This American dream is just gone. It's gone because all the shops are closed. All the small businesses are shut down. You know what I'm saying? They've lost their businesses. There is no way if a lot of them, majority of them didn't make it. When she said generations of families whose kids will now not know, like will have to be the new struggling generation, it just kind of did a little bit of a different thing to me, because I saw it as current life savings that you use to open up your business. But some people have had it to where it's like my grandparents owned it. Now it's, this person owns it. Now it's, you know what I'm saying? So for a lot of people, it is a generation of thing and they've lost it. Now, wouldn't it be great if we could find a small mom and pop shop that owns a grocery store? There's none. How expensive is it to have it? Why? Because for someone who is smaller, we're not able to order on this larger bulk scale, the way Target, the way Walmart, the way Sam's, all these people are able to do. So for somebody who's got the smaller money, it's harder for them to have, you know what I'm saying, some kind of grocery store to provide to locals, right? So that maybe you can support a local business because they're not able to buy that quantity of bulk.
It's hard to compete with corporate money.
It's hard.
When you don't have that and all you have is what you have, it's hard to compete.
During this whole issue that was going on, I remember this lady send me this DM and said, well, some of us don't have entrepreneur mentality, and I'm a teacher, and just going on and on about you think you're better because you're self-employed. I was like, what? When have I ever said that? Do you know how many? I don't get to go home and call it a night. I'll be texting Rob sometimes. 11. Hey, Rob, I'm so sorry this text is going to you really late, but what do you think about this idea? You know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, that's good. Like,
which I love it. Yeah.
Like, so it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, your brain's never turned off. I'm not saying somebody that doesn't, you know what I'm saying, that works an 8 to 5 isn't creative or anything like that. But a lot of people that work those 8 to 5, they like just turning it off at 5 o'clock and they don't want to think about anything else.
When
and
stuff gets hard, don't you find that envious sometimes, that like you wish you could just do that?
I'm not gonna lie.
Why did I do this
right?
to
Do you know that
myself?
I tell Pete that sometimes? I'm like, I said,
Oh, it's so hard.
I just sometimes would rather go interpret full time.
Right.
And my job is done.
Yeah.
I love what I do.
Struck a nerve over
you know what
here.
I'm saying? I love what I
So
do.
hard.
Yeah.
But it's easier because it's easier to just go in. I know that I have this assignment, that assignment, and then I'm done. And then I get to come home.
Yeah.
And I'm not worried about anything else, versus it's like your brain is always
Spinning all the plates.
time.
Look, there's nothing wrong with having a job, right? Your 8 to 5 is what puts food on the table, but your 6 to 10, that's what is going to get you out of that fucking slavery.
Yep.
Because even from grade school, the minute we open up a history book or our textbook, that's when the programming starts. It didn't just start now with the media. We've been programmed since the first time we opened up a fucking book. And what are we taught? You have to go to college to what? To be a slave to some big corporation or a big business. They teach you how to be an employee. They don't teach you how to be a boss. And so, but you know, that teacher, she got offended or whatever. But I mean, at the same time, it's like, look, I get it. Your job is important. And teachers don't make enough.
No, they don't. That's always been my, you know that I went to go speak at my old junior high. My art teacher invited me to come back as a returning student because I was self-employed. You know what I'm saying? I was doing my own thing. And so I went to a high risk middle school, you know, full of gangs. And they were just kind of bringing back people that have, you know, moved on and did good for themselves. And I'll never forget that I said, I admire teachers for sticking to their job regardless of how fucking some parents, because I did the program in high school. I did Future Teachers of America. And then parents would come in there blaming the teacher. And I'd be like, bitch, it ain't their motherfucking job. That part is your job. I'm not sure if you know that.
Beat your kid's ass, bitch. Beat your kid's ass.
I mean, her job is to go 1 + 1 = 2. You get it? You don't? Okay. Here's one apple. Here's 2 apples. She can't teach your child discipline too.
Manners.
Manners. That's you. That's your job.
Yeah.
It
It's a
used to
hard
trip me out.
job.
I used to be like, how does she hold it together? Because I'd be like, I would have already gone down the. Okay, well, that's not my fault that you don't do this for your child. You know, I just don't know. So my response to her was, I am sorry that you feel that way about me. I said, I hope that whatever issues you're having with the politics, right? I just said, you should think about going to
too
talk
nice.
to,
Yeah,
I said, you
right.
should go talk to your, teacher union. That's who you should go speak to, because they're the ones who determine your salary, and maybe you need to be asking for them. I mean, it's a big responsibility.
I'm telling you, how are they going to be mad at you when they can just send a quick email to the fucking school board?
I bumped into my friend who retired. She quit this year after teaching for 12 years. And she said, I couldn't do it anymore. And she said, check this out. She was, I hear a noise in mine.
I know, I do too. It's something, hopefully it fucking goes away in post.
Okay.
Sorry.
She said, because they're doing the virtual learning, and she said she was sitting there. All the kids are on the screen, right? And she says the mom's getting mad at the kid for some reason and starts spanking him online. And so she's like,
in front of everybody.
In front of everybody. So all the other kids are also seeing the mom spank the child, getting in trouble.
What?
Yes. So she had to kind of interrupt and say, ma'am, you either need to cover your camera or I have to report you. Like, I'm going to have to report you for doing this. You know what I'm saying?
God.
And so she's like, it got too much for her, to the point where they were exhausting these teachers because they wanted for them to figure it out. This is the first time something like this has happened. How do you expect for a teacher to figure it out like this? Where they didn't get no training on, in case of a pandemic, this is how we would handle it. They're all learning at the same time that administrators are, at the same time as the board is learning. So how is that even remotely fair for them to have all this responsibility? She said that they were having to stay at school till 9:45, 10 p.m. at night, having meetings, figuring shit out, to the point to where her
Were they
daughter...
at least getting paid for that?
No, they don't get that. They don't get overtime.
That's a damn shame.
To the point to where her daughter started misbehaving. Her own daughter started misbehaving because the attention at home. She said her husband held it down for almost 2 months straight, to where he was having to cook dinner, making sure that they got their lunches ready the night before, like doing all that. So she finally just went to them and said, "You're not married. You don't have kids." These are the principals. So you don't get that at my house, shit is kind of hitting the fan.
Yeah.
So I can't be here like doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to bully me into me like allowing my household to just turn upside down because you guys can't seem to get it together. She said there was already a shortage of teachers before. After this, so many of them became overwhelmed to where it's like they started quitting. You know what I'm saying? And so because they just didn't want to deal with this anymore. It was like, I'm not having this parent come cuss me out because your child can't figure something out online. Ma'am, I'm doing the best that I can do. I upload the assignments. I'm putting shit on there. You know what I'm saying? It's a hard thing for everybody. And sometimes I feel, and I get also from the parent point of view, they're frustrated. They're trying to figure it out. They're trying to find work. I mean, shit.
It's a fucked up situation.
It's a very fucked up situation. I agree.
Everybody.
And I just feel like, that's why I'm saying, I think if we just kind of came together and we kind of just work together instead as a community and just kind of looked at where the issues are, like, just how are we going to fix this?
Yes.
How can we make it better? We're not going to solve it overnight. Obviously, we're probably not going to solve it within the next year, because it's probably going to take a whole year to come up with some sort of system. You know what I'm saying? To make it kind of seem like it could work. It could go this way. You know what I'm saying?
But what has to happen first is people have to have these conversations, and they have to unify, and they have to stop, calling themselves whatever it is. Let's just leave the labels alone, right? And let's just kind of get back to what's important. Our veterans, our military, kids, the school system. There's so many things that are important, and those things are just kind of.
And that's another thing. It's like all these things that are coming up right now, all these changes that they're applauding Biden for. I'm just like, wait a minute. Listen, guys, I had an episode with Valentine on here speaking about transgender, because I feel it's important that we speak about things like that to understand, to be able to respect an individual. You don't have to 100% agree with their lifestyle, but you know what? You do have to respect that that's who they are, and that's who they want to be.
That's right.
And if that's the person who they identify with, then we should all be able to respect that. Unfortunately, we don't live in a world where everybody is willing to accept and willing to be open-minded. I still feel there's certain things I don't agree with. You know what I'm saying? And part of that was like, I think before, if I'm not mistaken, so you could, if you were already transitioned, you were able to enlist, right? If you had already gone through the transition.
In the military?
In the military. I think that's what it was before when it was Trump. And I think now it doesn't matter. You can actually just, if you can join and then decide to transition. And the problem with that is it's tax dollars. And you're paying for it. So we're paying for them to go through this. Y'all, I saw some crazy shit today. I follow this conservative gay male. And the reason I love him is because he's pretty neutral, even though for being a conservative, I send you his stuff a lot.
The skinny
guy.
That guy's funny.
I actually donate to his thing because that's what he does. He goes around debunking things.
Oh, cool.
So I like donate to his, to his stuff because I feel it's important for you to have someone out there who doesn't fit the description of a,
sure.
you know what I'm saying?
A lot of us don't fit.
Exactly.
None of us in this room fit in that
exactly.
bill.
I mean, we were talking about that today. It's
Yes.
like, okay, I feel like something's happening to the planet. I mean, watermelon season was supposed to be over months ago, and these watermelons are still growing like fucking.
And they're
nothing.
huge.
So I was like, maybe I'm going to bring back the mint condition juice because I was like, it's seasonal. I need the one with seeds, but they're still here. And I'm like, okay, well, fuck it. Let's do it. But for me, I'm like, okay, something's going on with the planet. Am I a tree hugger? I don't know. But then I have my gun and I believe that I'll just, I think it's a necessity. I think people. So then where does that put me? Like, what am I then? Am I
that's what I was-
conservative? Am I liberal? Like, what am I?
And that's what I was telling her. I was like, I don't necessarily know what's happening. Like, I'm not saying that there's global warming isn't real. And I don't know if it's fake either, if that makes sense. Because I just feel like this weather's so weird. Why is this weather so weird? Who's
Why is it so
changing it
hot?
over there? Who's doing something to this?
Harp.
Somebody's
Harp.
Man,
you're going to trigger some people that be talking about the environment.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I was telling her I still do my part.
Yeah.
I don't buy sandwich bags, you know what I'm saying? Like paper towels.
Yeah.
Pete can't stand that we use paper towels. So he wants me to use paper a towel,
Yeah.
right? I think it's kind of gross to use a towel because we're all going to use the towel.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. So I've found bamboo paper towels. Okay. So they're from recycled.
Fancy.
And so I just kind of thought, okay, well, I can do the bamboo paper towels. That's
Yeah,
what's
let's
up.
do
You know
it.
what I'm saying? I'm still saving the planet because I don't know if it's real, but just in case it is, I want to know that I did something to kind of
You wanna
contribute.
try.
You know what I'm saying?
You wanna try.
I'm still kind of like that in some ways. And then in some ways, I'm just like, I don't even know anymore, you know?
I know, and I wish I had it up because I was reading about this recently. Some sort of recycling isn't worth it. And I forgot what it was. I don't know if it was plastic or if it was glass, but something just ends up not. They've said basically that it's almost
Well, it's
worthless.
plastic because China used to buy our plastic before, and then they stopped buying it from us. And then I forgot what other country used to buy our plastic, and they stopped buying it. So recycling plastic, I saw this documentary on YouTube. So
Yeah,
I'll find
actually,
it.
the first one that came up was The Guardian. I wish I had that monitor up so you guys could see it. But plastic recycling is a myth, and it's by The Guardian, so it's not like it's a super conservative publication by any means. But yeah, I have to watch it. I've never
so
seen it.
I saw it and I was like, what? All this I've been doing this, not trying to use plastic. What? I even have a pair of tennis shoes, guys, that were made out of recycled jug water.
She don't ever wear
You know
those,
what
I
I'm saying?
bet.
Well, they're white, so you got to wear those when they're kind of cute. You know what I'm saying? But I'll post them next time I wear them so that you guys can
You're
see
trying.
it.
You're
I
trying.
try.
You're doing
I
your
do.
part.
And that's what I'm
I
saying.
do.
It's like if we could just stop calling each other things,
Mm-hmm.
right? And just say, okay, let's take the environment. Maybe we don't agree all the way
Mm-hmm.
what's going on, but something's happening. So what can we do? What are the alternatives? What are different solutions? I mean, instead of telling you, dude, instead
I
of just
know.
arguing about the dumb shit.
Like this whole
what are we
thing,
gonna do to fix this?
I think I asked. Yeah, I don't hear it
I
anymore.
got it. Yeah, side tangent for the listeners. We have so many things hooked up to certain outlets, and it makes a loop of electricity. So I unplugged my laptop, which is plugged up to the same as the board. It went away.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, you're gonna hear that buzz for a little bit, but not the whole episode.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. I was like, oh, it stopped all of a sudden. You saw my ADD.
I know.
I was like, oh,
Clarity.
Yeah. Whenever Valentine was here, I had asked him how he felt about a transgender female competing in MMA as a female, and he felt as though skill is skill. So you can go up against, if you're skilled and you're trained, then you as a transgender female can fight a woman, or just a naturally born woman.
Female.
I said, okay, I saw his point of view, but I still don't agree with it. You know what I'm saying? Because I still feel like, I think I asked him, I don't know if he answered the question though, because I asked, whenever you transgender into female, I know your testosterone goes down, but does also like everything else mainly go down as far as like strength?
And that's what we don't know.
like-
And until we really know, then I think that they need to, because I think a man just naturally has more strength.
Yeah.
It's just that
They're
way.
built that way.
Yeah, and we were talking about this too. Like everything's different. Like your shoulder, like the dimensions of your shoulders, reaction times, things are just size of head.
Yeah.
You know, all that
Yeah.
stuff is different. Bone density.
Exactly. So I'm
Bone
curious.
density, that's a big one. That's a big one.
So with this whole thing that Biden just signed, where now transgender boys and girls, right, they're able to compete in like girl sports and boy sports or whatever. And while I think it's great that we're being more accepting, because we should be, right? I feel like we should. It doesn't matter whether you're lesbian, whether you're, gay, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We should all be accepting. I told you this. So I got curious. This is always what I do, guys. And I'm going to give you all a little bit of a tip. Don't ever just watch one source. I really encourage you to watch the source that you like, and then go watch the opposing source, and then find where the inconsistency is, and then research the inconsistency part.
Amen.
That's how I do it. So it made me curious because, of course, you had people saying, fuck yeah, I'm glad that he did this, right? This mom made this comment on there, which I said, holy shit, she's so right. She said, my daughter has private coaches. She plays tennis. She plays in private, country clubs, right? Because she wants to make sure that she gets a scholarship for college. Right? So parents are investing money. She's got coaches. She's going to tournaments. She's doing this, right? And she said, it's already tough for them like to compete against each other, because there's some females that are just, they're just naturally athletic. They're able to exceed, you know what I'm saying? They're just good. So you have someone who's not as good having to take all these other extra, steps to get to be able to compete with the high upper. And then here you go and allow transgender girls to now compete. So now it's going to be even harder for those who are trying to compete with women who were born, or girls who were born girls, or not, they're not transgender. Now it's like, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, this cannot happen. So I was like, okay, I see both point of views.
Point. Yeah,
okay,
you see her point.
So I go on YouTube.
Oh no, the YouTube rabbit hole.
I do this every time. I do this every time. That's why
I was on the YouTube rabbit hole last night Googling Richard Ramirez. Look it up. It's fucked up.
Really?
It's bad. It's on Netflix.
The little boy?
No, he's not a little boy.
Mariswole first, and then
He was
Marissa.
a slasher.
Oh god.
Okay, go. I'm sorry, my bad. Go
Well,
down
anyway,
your
so I
rabbit
said,
hole
I
first.
wonder if there's any more moms out there who have made videos. Because, YouTube moms, they make, there was like,
They were all talking shit.
I'm pissed about it. One of them showed did a whole thing where she shows her daughter practicing. She shows how much time. She shows her how much. She showed a bill of how much she spends on private coaches, on how much she spends on getting her the newest shit, like equipment. This one was a volleyball player though. And it was like, what? And it was like, so then it was like, my God, there's a lot of pissed parents out there. You know what I'm saying? And it was just crazy to see. So, of course, I had to see if there was any transgender parents. No transgender parents have made anything yet.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know why, or if they're just kind of waiting to sit back to see what happens or how this is going to work out or what's going to happen with this, right? But I just kind of felt like, okay, now I see this argument, and it's going to be very tough now. And then they showed the example of, I think there was a transgender male who competed. I'm sorry, transgender female. Is that right? Is that how it's called? What it's called when they go from male to female? Is it transgender female, right?
Yes.
Because Valentine said he's transgender male, right? Okay, so
then it's
transgender female.
Okay.
Okay, so when you're
Was a guy. Right.
went to a girl, competed in track and field, smoked.
Burned them.
Of course.
Smoked them.
It shouldn't be that hard to find out if they have an edge or not. Remember that fucking punching thing at the bar? Like when all the guys, they were drunk and they'd put like $1 in the thing.
Yeah.
And it lets you punch it.
The speed bag.
I mean, and it tells you it's got a number. It's like, oh, he hit at 850. And then this person hit at 230.
Yeah.
Can't we just do a test?
I think maybe the reason
Let's just do a punching test.
you didn't find anything is because let's think about the percentage of those transgenders who are also in school or in an age where they're going to play a sport with another girl. It's probably so small right now that you'll have to wait 10 years maybe for a big pool
To
of
really know.
parents
Yeah.
have transgender kids that want to compete against girls.
But this also goes for college. So this is going to go for
Okay.
college.
Okay.
This is obviously now for sports.
That's the crazier part. When you're already in college and then you transition, and then while in college you play against the girls. That's a total
Exactly.
Wow, that's
so it's
crazy.
not just for like high schoolers.
Yeah,
We're talking about college also. So to me, it was like, where's the happy medium? Like where
We
do you
stay on our own sides?
Like, yeah,
That's the
like
happy
I
medium.
just feel like it's not fair. It's not fair, and I get it that they're transitioning, and I'm all for it, and I totally respect it.
Can we make a space for them to compete
transgender
against each
sports?
other?
Yes, I think that's how it should be.
Just until we
Just like they make
know-
transgender restrooms, like let's make a transgender division.
And I'm just talking about with people who are competing. Like, I think that is a concern for some people, but we don't know yet. We don't know if they do have an edge. So maybe in the meantime,
we don't know if they have an edge.
Well, I mean,
I'm just stoking.
you know what I mean.
The pot.
You know what I mean. In the meantime, can't they just fucking kickbox each other or whatever the fuck they do?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this whole thing, the reason I talked about this is because I was very surprised at the conservative guy's point of view. Let me see. Hold on. I want to show you. I just want to read this because I thought it was.
He's the conservative LGBT
Yes,
guy.
he's the conservative LGBTQ guy, and man, he's always on my shit. He's always on the top of the list.
Isn't it crazy when Instagram starts noticing you watch other stuff and
Yeah.
it starts not showing you the stuff you used to watch?
I'm like, bitch, I
Man.
want to see that.
Yeah, now you
I
gotta put it back.
always, man, I can't even find where he
Damn
is.
shame. And you don't know the name, do you?
I forget his
God.
name. Oh, but you know what? I do be DMing his
I was
stuff
gonna say,
a lot.
just go to my
So I'm gonna
DMs.
go to the
It's in there
DMs. Hold
somewhere.
on, because that's exactly all that happens. Is I send them all the time to my friend, but or to Rob, but why I okay, so he spoke about that, right? And he talks about if you're easily offended, you're the problem.
You the problem. I agree with
So
that.
true.
So the thing that was that it says his point of view. Check this out. I just want to read where he says this is his thought. I know.
Take the wheel.
Like, look, he says
Where are you, Chewy?
because they said that transgenders have a very high suicide rate. They also have a lot of like mental issues, like accepting who they are, like they're going through that. And 99% of the time, their number one concern is transitioning. So they're so focused on that. You have to take a psych eval when you enter the military. So if you're not able to meet that, why should you still be allowed to enter the military? A lot of people were saying like they should be able to pass the same test that the males are supposed to, even if you're a female, not transgender female, just females in general, you want to enlist, you should be able to have to do the same things males do when they join the military. I didn't know that there was discrepancy between the training, but I guess if you're in the military,
somebody wants to fucking fight for our country, let them, because I know I'm too much of a fucking pussy.
Yeah, I won't do it.
So I just whatever.
Yeah.
Let them do it.
Yeah, you want to defend the country? That's great.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. I'm not going to put restrictions on you. Go.
I just want to read his point of view as a conservative gay male. Okay. He says, the military has strict mental, physical requirements. No one should be exempt from these standards simply because they are trans. The transgender community has a high rate of suicide and mental illness, something that would disqualify any other person. So the mental illness alone would disqualify you from being able to enter the military. So we're not talking about just the transgender
I need to take this
part.
test. We need to take this test because I know a lot of crazy bitches that were in the fucking military.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
And he says, with that said, I believe if a transgender has enough medical documentation to prove that they are mentally strong and able, for example, he puts, lived as the opposite gender for X amount of years with no signs of depression, etc., then they should be able to serve. Also, I do not believe tax dollars should pay for pay for gender reassignment surgeries. I 100% agree with that either.
Do we know that for sure that's
yes,
happening?
they get on the insurance that's called their insurance, and the insurance covers it. So that's part of the bill too.
Yeah, I don't think that should be covered. That's kind of like a...
Man, when I see stuff like that, it's just like, that's what you were concerned with for your first 100 days.
And you know what?
What about Americans that don't have a job
I
right
mean,
now?
I'm just saying, I'm not saying that that's not important, but it's the first week, dude. Like, there's, again, nothing against the transgender community.
Of course
I love you
not.
guys.
Yeah, same.
Let me know what I can do to help you.
Yep.
That's all I know.
And that's why I had Valentine on here, because I want to know what I need to do to educate myself, what I need to do to be... I'm open-minded to anything. Like... I don't like I told him, I don't have to agree with you 100%, but I can accept it and I can respect it and I can see your point of view, and that's cool. I'm glad that you're telling me. You know what I'm saying? So,
but there's more pressing matters right now. Again, people are losing their fucking houses. They're losing everything, and so it's a priority. But that needs to be in the back of the line.
Yeah,
like there's bigger issues right now, and that's kind of the problem. It's like the things that really matter, no one gives a shit about.
Like the whole immigration thing, how he already is passing it so that you can become a U.S. resident. I think that's what it is. I didn't read too much on it. I don't
even know.
But I forgot what governor or somebody was pissed and said, wait, in the first 100 days, you worried about illegal immigrants first before our American citizens. When he put it at first when I said, well, okay, well, that's what's up, Biden. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You're doing something, right? But then when he said it, when I forgot who that was that said it. Do you know, Rob, who said that? Who he basically spoke and said, your first concern was how you were going to make illegal immigrants illegal versus all the Americans who are jobless.
Yeah. And again,
you know
that's not to sit there and say that community doesn't matter and those issues don't matter.
Not. Of course.
What we're saying is that there are more pressing matters right now.
Yep.
That people are newly homeless. This is the first time that they've ever been without a home. They're newly unemployed. This is the first time that they haven't had a job for the last 15 years.
And guys, tomorrow I'm actually, we're interviewing somebody tomorrow, Rob, who is part of the Fresh Project. And they're trying to help homelessness. And it's insane because I think I sent it to you, is the homelessness in California, how crazy it is over there, where they've taken over Venice Beach to where people that live there are selling their houses for like pennies because they can't be there anymore. There's so many drug addicts out there. And basically, I guess whoever their mayor or whatever, because they're not going to make any money off of building a new facility for assisting homeless, like whether it be that you need drug rehab, mental rehab, whatever it is, right? Because they're not going to make any money off of it. They really don't put any concern into it. Okay, well, that's there's a lot of homeless. That's what's up. you know,
And
type
that's
of
it.
thing.
That's
So
it.
it's like, okay, well, we'll let you nonprofit organizations deal with it. You know, that's not our concern because we're not making nothing in return from that anyway, you know? So what for? So a lot of homeless folks are like just breaking into houses while you're sitting there in your house chilling watching TV. They'll just decide to break in and rob you, and because they need drugs, and the drug epidemic is like ginormous, even more so right now. And I'm like, what is happening? I when I was listening to her speak, I almost felt like, you know, like when you watch cartoons and they're like wah, 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 wah. Like that's kind of how I felt. I was like, is that real?
Yeah.
Wow, it's too much.
Is our guest coming in or is it Zoom?
No, there's Zoom.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there's Zoom.
Well, one of them said, not Shay, I don't know what the other girl's name is, the one I've been talking to. She said that she's down to come in and Shay will still do Zoom.
Okay.
But
Alright,
so
good.
I just haven't replied to her because she texted literally as we were about to start podcasting. But I'm excited to hear their story and what they're doing. So what they're trying to get started, guys, is basically a shower.
Yeah,
Have you
mobile
seen a
showers.
mobile shower? So have you seen the sinks that are around the city?
No.
I have
No?
one at the Juice Caboose.
Yeah. So there's one right here at the corner by where what is that? Wheeler and I guess that's where Wheeler turns into Richmond. I don't know if you go that far down. Yeah, well, that's where you catch 59 right there. Look to your left side when you're going home. You'll see there's a sink right there. And so basically it's to help with you staying clean and not spreading it. You
Those
know
are
what I'm
around the
saying?
city?
Yes, only in, obviously, there's no homeless,
Well, yeah.
you know what I'm saying, in the suburbs.
And that's another organization.
I meant- yeah, down here,
They're
downtown.
called Rise, Rise Houston, if I'm not mistaken, and they're the ones that go in and they install I found out about them through the Fresh Project.
Okay.
And they came and put
And
us
so
in.
they're trying to raise money to install a shower. Some of the questions I'm going to have for them tomorrow is going to be like, who maintains them? Like, how are those? Because they're trying to raise money for it. It costs $50,000 just to put one in, Rob.
God.
So
just
it's basically
one.
a trailer that has maybe 3 showers in
Mm-hmm.
it. However many they can fit, and it's mobile. So wherever there's a water source, they can,
Mm-hmm.
connect the hose or whatever, and then they can take a bath.
It's
like that.
amazing that these two ladies, I don't know there's how many more people are involved, but the main two
There's a
ladies,
few more, yeah.
the fact that they're so invested like that and they're taking that much of their time
Yeah, because they have normal jobs.
they have regular
man.
jobs. That's why they can't do the podcast until the evening
yeah.
because they work their regular job.
Yep.
And so when I saw that, when Marissa told me about them, and then like I said, guys, this year I want to be able to do more as far as the community, because I feel like if I'm going to be talking about what we should be doing, I also should be doing. So that's the
Yeah.
reason why I wanted to make sure we had the human trafficking guests speak on that, you know what I'm saying, making sure that we're aware of like where you can donate, where you can be a part of it, how you can get involved and so forth, you know, even if it's just donating $10 a month, that's all you can do. 1, trust me, all that little bit of money goes a long way.
I feel like I know a Mexican that can do that whole change out for like 10 grand. Like, I'm just saying.
I just don't know if it has to, like, does it have to follow some kind of like
Probably.
city
Of course it
requirements?
does.
No, it
Let me
does.
tell you, there's a lot of permitting behind that.
Okay, and that's where they make their money. Do you
tired. Yeah,
understand?
of course.
That's what this lady was talking about.
Yeah.
It's like they want all these permits because that's how they make all their money.
Yeah.
So then it makes it hard to fix the homelessness issue.
Yeah.
Because every
Well,
time
LA
I
is
You
even
can't even
worse.
get a ticket for serving them food at a park.
Yeah.
yes,
You can get in
Yes.
trouble. Like, how
Exactly.
is that right, man?
So I don't. This is what I was telling Pete the other day. So where we live, guys, it's obviously downtown. So there's a lot of homeless downtown. And over there by where the fiesta was, okay, that's where they pretty much all gathered.
Congregate.
Okay. The fiesta closed down. They fenced off that parking lot. I don't know what they're going to make there yet, but across the street, what used to be the Sears, the old Sears, Rice University bought that. So it's going to be one of their buildings there. So it's super fancy, super nice. And there's no homeless around anymore.
That always just magically happens.
I always wonder where'd they go? Where'd you put them? So then I'm driving the other
Well,
day.
of course, the police were told to,
Well,
clear the area.
well, now they're on different feeder areas, and there's a whole community of tents where they're just living now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's weird because I'm seeing more people. Like, I'm pretty close to HBU, and there's more tents on that side of town getting into Stafford Sugarland than I've ever seen under underpasses.
And dude, that was one of the things that they told me from the Fresh Project is that, so not only are they trying to raise money for the trailer, the mobile showers, but they are heavy in the downtown, passing out food. You know, they're always doing stuff for the homeless community. God, I fucking lost my train of thought.
What were they telling?
Oh, I found it. What she was telling me is, you know, just always being down there, she's starting to meet a lot of newly homeless people, like people who are literally traumatized right now. It's them and their kids. And if they have a car, they're lucky because they can sleep in the car. If they don't have a car, they're fucked. And these places are at capacity. And then in the morning, you have to leave. You have to be gone 8 hours. You can't come back till nighttime. And then you have, of course, I think me and you talked about this is like all the classes that they have now in the working poor and the working homeless. People who are homeless, but they still have a job. They just don't have enough money to live in an actual place. They have issues because they have to hide their stuff during the day. And then if their stuff gets robbed when they come out of work, then they got to wear the same clothes, and then people start asking questions, and it's hard for them to.
And these are people that have lost their jobs
and
during
these
the pandemic,
are the people that we need to be worried about.
And that's what I mean. Like, that's the stuff that Sylvester Turner should be worried about. That's the stuff that Lena Hidalgo should be worried about. Not about, you know what I'm saying, all these other. I mean. Right now, she likes to brag recently about their handle on COVID.
What is their... I don't even know what the handle
I don't even know what their
is.
handling of
What's the
COVID is.
handle?
I have no idea about how they have it under control. I'm like, really? Didn't you?
It doesn't seem like it's under control. There's tents everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Like, I keep seeing COVID testing, like a new setup every time I drive somewhere. It's like a new drive-through. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like...
Well, you know, Big Pharma's making a lot of money on this COVID testing.
I mean, insulin just went up. So,
epinephrine just went up.
I mean, it really is like at the end of the day.
And that's what I mean
it's
about certain issues that... It's more than just immigration, guys.
Hold up. And look at how it just went up right under our noses. The prices just go up under our noses and we don't say shit. We're arguing about what? Yeah. About what? Democrat and Republican? Bitch, the price of insulin just went up. Y'all don't give a fuck about that? Like you've said multiple times. Where are the receipts? Because we keep putting into this pot, right? Every time we're taxed. And so when we go to try to get something up, get your hands lazy. You just want a fucking handout. Bitch, I thought that was my rainy day too. How come you and all your friends get to have a rainy day, but us down here, we can't have no fucking rainy day?
It's one of the things that I said is like, when everybody was talking about defunding the police, right? My biggest issue, and I think I said that when we had Miriam on here, is I said, why don't we look at how the budget is going for the police department?
And that's
so where's our taxes?
That is another way to say defund, because I think defund kind of gets all misinterpreted. And what they're saying is like, what we need to do is reallot the money. Look, if a cop shoots somebody and he was negligent, first of all, I feel like police should have their own insurance. I have to have insurance, and all I'm doing is giving people fucking juice. Why don't you have to be insured? And so every time you have an incident, your premium goes up, and then if it gets too out of control, they drop you. Because then that would put the responsibility on the police officer to be smarter every time you take that gun out. But what defund really means is that let's reallot the money. Why are we paying?
People with common sense like you know that's what that means.
But the issue, why are we paying for all the fluff, all the extra shit? What we need to be paying for is for them to get treatment. They should, just like Jocko said, there needs to be a rotation. Either you're on the beat or whatever they call it, you're getting the therapy that you need, and you're resting.
But
and
the problem is that that's not the problem. The programs are set up. They don't have enough cops. Did you not hear her? She was alone patrolling for 1 hour.
Because they're taking the fucking money and wiping their asses with it. And
Exactly.
if they reallotted that money, then they could pay for somebody to be there.
And no, they could pay for a lot of other stuff.
She's not a priority.
None of them are.
That just tells you she's not a priority.
Neither is
You're
the
by
school
yourself.
system. Neither is the school system. Like, why do I pay all these taxes and these children in public schools get the shittiest education?
Show me the receipts. Where is the motherfucking receipts? Because I want to see what I'm paying for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no one asks. And
if I'm paying for you to have a vacation home, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
And I know that I am.
Because what I told her is, I said, okay, why? Hey, the IRS asks for all our receipts, right?
I'm working on that right now, girl.
Right? So then why aren't you showing me where my tax dollar is going to?
Last I
Why
checked,
not?
they worked for us. I'm just saying, don't we pay? Don't we pay? I'm just saying. So why can't you show me your
but
progress?
none of us take the time, including myself. I've never sat there and went to a town hall meeting and
Or a
said,
school board meeting.
Yeah, school
We need
board
to start
meeting.
going.
Yeah, I do.
down.
I really
I'm
do.
so down.
I'm so down to start going because it's not fair that parents have to pay for private school to get the good education and still pay taxes on a school that your child doesn't even attend.
Amen.
Like people with audiences, like, or any kind of audience, social media, we should all start planning groups to go to like town hall
And go
meetings
raise hell.
Yeah, or
Go
at least
raise
at first
hell.
we'll listen. And then we'll raise hell.
And then we'll raise hell. I'm serious. Like,
Because it needs to happen.
Seriously, arguing on the fucking internet when there's so many things that need to be done. You're over there responding to Chingo Bling like you're fucking saving the world. Like you're saving the world. No, bitch. Like there's things that are really important.
Yeah.
If you want to really save the world, get out the comments and go raise hell.
Yeah.
Because even if your kid doesn't go to that school and that school's dilapidated and there's fucking crackheads everywhere, that should piss you off as a mother.
Like,
that
guys-
should piss you off as a person.
Yeah, and like their school lunch.
That's the clip for this podcast, Marissa.
Do you know what the school lunch is, guys?
Trash. Garbage. And under
Do you know
our
that they use wait a minute, leftover when they don't have enough meat to
tell
give the
me.
school?
Don't keep
They
going.
give them horse meat, Rob.
What?
Horse meat.
Believe it.
Come on now, these children.
These children. Well, I don't. What?
But
Where?
look. Our government.
better read about it.
Our
I'm gonna
government.
know.
Our government.
I heard horse meat was good though.
It
Oh
could
my
be.
God, that's a
It could be,
pet.
especially around the
No,
ball.
it's not a
especially
pet.
around the ball area.
Horse is a pet.
I think that meat's more tender.
Whoa.
No, but what I'm saying is, and I forgot what the fuck I was saying.
Horse meat,
I'm
the
so tired of
lunches.
this shit. Oh, who are the people that regulate the food?
The
Is
Food
it
and Drug
administration?
Administration.
Yeah.
The FDA, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So there are like, I don't know, 50 plus ingredients that have been made illegal in other countries, and we're
yeah.
able to use it. They still put it in our fucking food. Those are the things that are happening under our noses, and it all boils down to money. You know, if they lobby, what happens? They get to bend the rules for them so that they keep pulling back all these restrictions. They're trying to make ketchup a vegetable. This is real. This is what they're serving your kids at school. Nothing but fucking sugar.
Ketchup has cornstarch syrup or whatever that shit's called in it. Disgusting.
It's
Fructose?
pretty.
Fructose. There you go. Cornstarch
What you
syrup. I don't
Dude,
even know.
If I'm not mistaken, there's tire rubber in McDonald's French fries. I mean, it's not.
Oh, remember the Subway bread has yoga mat plastic in it?
Yes, and look, okay. I'm a hood baby, so this is how I'm gonna explain it. You know how, like, let's say you're trying to buy a little bit of cocaine. I'm sorry, guys. This is just. But
This is my friend,
When you
guys.
step on it and you step on it and you step on it, they call that Ricky, right? Mm-hmm. And so all we're eating is motherfucking stepped on cocaine. Like they can't even. It's too expensive to make a French fry out of a real fucking potato that they have to water it down with all this fucking disgusting bullshit. And those are the things that should piss people off. And those are the things that are happening under Democrats and Republicans. And these are the things that we need to care about.
And no one cares about. Like everybody's so busy fighting about everything else. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, it's so silly. I just can't anymore. That's why I said I'm just going to start doing and when you can back up that you're doing for your community, then I have room to complain. Then I have room to speak about it because I'm actually active and I'm doing something in my community. And I think that's how you have to start. I think you have to start in your own backyard. Whether it be, and guys, I know we're all busy, so volunteering isn't always an option, but you know what? Just checking on things that matter to you and organizations that maybe fund or help with those things that matter to you. Maybe see how you can get involved with them, whether it's being that you help, put a GoFundMe for that organization, even if you can't do the money, you know what I'm saying? If you can't donate yourself, whether it be that, you just promote it, tell people about it, even if it's you telling others about it, that still helps, because if someone doesn't know about that organization, then here you go finding out about it thanks to so and so who told you, because that mattered to that person. I just feel like we're so caught up on, like you said, labels on who you are, to where we forgot to be humans, and we forgot to be living humans of your own community, to where you can do something. The other day, do you know that there was something that happened across the street from our house over there in Alabama? And I had to go around it because the cops blocked it off. I said, there's a community center here? I never knew there was a community center here. Yeah. So then I start looking up to see what things they offer. They don't offer anything there. I was like, well, what is your community center doing here? Why
getting
aren't you
free money from the
state?
Exactly.
Getting free money from the state.
I was like, see, man, that's the kind of shit that makes me mad, because you could be giving. I live in 3rd Ward, Houston, okay, where predominantly African Americans live in my area, okay? Why don't we find what the main issues are in the Black community, so that community center can start giving that education, that help. You know what I'm saying? That's how you kind of, you got to help your own community. I don't get it. How you're just sitting there allowing this community. I mean, they offer little stuff. They offer like stuff for senior citizens, but where's the youth? Yeah. What about the youth? They're going to these parks with people selling crack, or whatever. I don't even know what drug it is that they're selling, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, I can't even let my own child go play at that park when I'm paying taxes here.
Oh, no.
I got to go walk all the way on the other side where TSU is, you know what I'm saying, to let her play over there, because those parks are taken care of. You see what I'm saying? It's really weird how things are divided in my area. I don't live on the side where the crackheads live, right? But it's across the street from me where the crack live. I don't get it. I don't get how this is zoned. It's zoned so crazy. And I just like think to myself, I'm just like, okay, let me figure out what all I'm going to be involved in this year, because, I obviously have already a gazillion other things, but I just told myself, okay, you don't have 150,000 followers. You don't have, but 25,000 followers is a lot of
Look
people.
at her just tooting her. You know
Getting
what?
close to that 26.
Hey.
My 350 followers.
But that's a lot of people that you can tell things about.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing my part. I'm encouraging people. I'm motivating you, but I'm not telling you how to get involved in your own community. And I think I need to start. That's why I told myself I am on a mission this year, and I'm going to do it through my podcast, because it's too hard to talk to people. Yeah. And I don't want to flood everybody's timeline with give here, give there. So, and I feel it's a conversation. It's not a post.
Amen.
It's a conversation that I have to have with someone who's an expert, who's someone who can explain, someone who can talk about it, so that it can give an understanding to folks who don't know about it, and be like, okay, so that's how that works. That's how we need to get involved, because the only way we're going to be able to make a change is if we start to really take the time to sit there and listen, use our ears, and really listen to these issues that are in our own community, so that we can start working on them. And if it doesn't matter to you, then you're the problem.
Amen.
That's just all there is to it.
I wanted to bring this up. I was thinking about it, or I was reading about it not too long ago. Actually, a while back, and then again recently. People that do these things, like, they try to be, especially in these times, very communal, very tribal, help each other out in their neighborhoods or whatever. And they'll do like like community lotteries, basically, where let's just say you have a dozen friends that you can, count on, commit to, and really want to do this with you. And they'll put in like $100 a month. And every month, one person, like you'll randomly draw, will have basically like a $1,200 loan with no interest, no nothing. It's just you do what you want with it that month, for
That's called a
instance.
tanda.
A what?
A tanda. That's in the Mexican community.
You tried. Anyway, what were we saying?
Bruh. I am Mexican.
No, that was like the time I was trying to say use your left hand in the morning and she fucking shot me down.
But I'm Mexican, but not from Mexico. So I don't know what a tanda is.
Yeah, your parents, you've never heard your parents say a tanda?
No. And I've been to Mexico a lot.
Well, I remember my
It's like
parents
that.
used
It's
to
like putting in a pot.
criticize. Yeah, my parents used to criticize the tanda thing. My parents didn't understand why you just couldn't put your money in the bank and you save your own money,
Yeah.
right? Because they used to always be like, but then because my mom would do them at the hair salon, at her shop. All the women are there. They all do it, right? But they would have to do it because they had to, they had to hide their money from their husbands to
Yeah.
do what they
Pretty
want.
much.
So that's where that was coming from. And so my
Yeah.
mom would come back and I'd
Deception.
hear her tell my dad the stories about it. And she'd be like, man, do you know how much money? One of them's taking home $10,000.
Damn.
And yeah, from wherever.
Jeez.
Because you have to give it every week.
Ah.
So it's every week. It's not once a month. So every week you're giving 100 or whatever it is. And so then you draw numbers and then that's your number. It's your month. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or something. I honestly don't know, but it's something like that where you draw
Yeah.
numbers. And then when you draw the number, it's your turn to get that money.
Huh.
And so there were so many of these women to where it would be $10,000 for some
Isn't
of
that
them.
fascinating, though? You're over here shitting on my idea, or what I thought was an idea.
It was just my childhood trauma.
It's called a thunder.
Yeah, it is your childhood trauma.
I
Did you
had to-
participate, or
you know
not,
what?
or rather, not get to
I
participate?
should have never
in
done
one?
that. For half a second, it made me feel good to shit on you. But that was my childhood trauma, and I'm sorry, God. I'm sorry.
We're here to
But
make
anyway,
people laugh, too.
so what do they do with the money?
Well, basically whatever you want. So the person, and it's not even the people that necessarily they don't need it, but they could use it to either help out somebody they know that needs it, and it's like they're able to do some charity with this money that they were able to collect from other people who are better off, or they could, spare it for that month, and then you keep going, and that way you can either keep it, redistribute it again into this little pot, or use it for a family, friend, or charity that you want to use it.
The next time I collect money for something, I'm going to take care of who gets it.
Oh yeah, ideally, right?
Because
Yup,
when that
amen.
Harvey money got donated, I was so pissed that instead we raised so much money, guys.
Yeah.
I think it was like,
How much?
it was up there close to 20,000 because we matched whatever the fans donated. So I don't know if it's true, but the rumor has it that Mayor Sylvester Turner used it for his own shit, and it wasn't even used for Harvey victims. The reason I went with that organization was because J.J. Watt was a part of it, and I just thought, well, if he's giving $1 million, it's got to be a real one. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I wouldn't just be giving $1 million if I didn't think it was going to go to the families. But when I found out that there were so many families who didn't get no money out of all this money that was donated, I said, what? What do you mean? You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Then I was so mad that we didn't make the time to go to the gala because you were invited if you like donated X amount of money. We had a show, so we couldn't go anyway. But we were like, later when we found out, I was like, we should have gone to that because we could have known where our money went. So now I want to do this year for Christmas. I want to start in November, like already start planning it, like probably
Okay.
like July, to where for Thanksgiving and Christmas, I have families that we raise money for. And I'm going to make sure that I physically do
Yes.
this.
Amen.
I'm not giving you the money either.
Yep.
Unless you're telling me like I need my rent paid, cool. Who I write this check to?
Yes.
Right.
Because
Amen.
that's who I'm going to send it to. I'm not giving you the cash.
Yep.
I'm just not doing that. I've learned my lesson. I'm very upset that I didn't ask for the receipt. You know what I'm saying? All that money that we donated, plus all the money that our followers donated, it's not fair to them either. So the next time I do any type of raising money for something, it's because I know physically I'm going to get to hand a check like this to the person or
Yep,
the
to
family
the
that
family.
needs it.
Yep,
I'm not
amen.
doing that anymore because I hate it. I hate it. I hate it that we donated that much money. And so many Harvey victims were without.
Still didn't get anything.
Didn't get anything.
Yeah.
So I think that's not going to fly with me anymore. So I just told myself, I said, I want to make sure that this little campaign starts in July. I don't really know what it's going to be called, but I've already kind of like marinated it in my thoughts. I've been looking at stuff on Pinterest.
Yep. I like that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, where I want to get like sponsors, whether it be like, you know, HEB to donate X amount of turkeys. And then we have sides and, you know, cause we can't make the sides. It has to be come from somebody who's, you know what I'm saying? Like got all the permits.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we have to make sure that you have to collab with people who are kind of doing this stuff already.
Of course.
But,
I've collabed with Fresh Project multiple times. Last year's Turkey Drive, movie night, this for Christmas movie night. So you just, once you find a good group, just stick with it.
Like for me, my issue was with United Way because I'm not going to say why, because I was there as an interpreter. I was there as an interpreter, and legally I can get in trouble for discussing what I was there, you know what I'm saying, to interpret for. But I never donated to them again. That's all I got to say. I'm not.
Damn shame.
I'm not ever donating to them again. And I was very disappointed because all through the time when I worked through corporate America, they are
very corporate, boo. That's why you can't trust them.
And so, you know, at work, if you want to wear jeans, you buy you donate X amount of money, you know what I'm saying, so you can wear jeans any time of the week that you want, so you don't have to come business casual. That's how my job would do it. So of course you want to pay your $50 a month so that if you don't feel like dressing up,
I gotta pay $50 a month to wear pants.
It's going to a good cause.
So they say.
Yeah. Until I became an interpreter after I left that job, and I went to go interpret for somebody that worked there, and they're having a business meeting.
Well, don't get in trouble. Don't say nothing. Yeah. Okay. We get the hint.
I was so mad. I walked out of there and
Tell
I
me
said,
after this.
You mother. I was like, y'all are getting so many people. I was like, man, I was one of them, and I worked in corporate America for so long. I was
That's
so
why I work
mad.
by myself now.
Yeah, that's why. I was like,
my God, dude.
all this time I've been giving this money.
Yeah. All this time.
It doesn't make sense to me. So, you know, guys, if you're listening to this, and I'm sure you may disagree with some of the things we say, and you may agree with some of the things we say, but I think the one thing we can all agree on is that it starts in your own backyard.
Yep.
It starts in your home. It starts with you teaching your children about, you know what I'm saying, like being cautious of certain things, you know what I'm saying, understanding certain things that are happening in the world, and then you doing your part in your own community to see how you can do what you can do to make it better. Because obviously, the people who represent us, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Not a damn thing.
Hopefully, maybe
Chilling.
Mm-hmm.
From the last podcast we did, I actually got The Morning Mind that you recommended, and the Limitless book that we referenced.
Yay!
And some of those apps. So maybe like some content we can do in the future, and Mariswole and I can talk about, is maybe you or y'all like talk about books y'all have read, kind of like a book club, kind of like exclusive content for the future.
For sure, yeah. And one of the things I got an idea about, and I'm going to go ahead and announce it. So if you're listening, I'm going to end with this because I know we've been on here for a minute and Rob needs to go home.
I'm good.
Too, but
And okay, so I just thought it would be a great idea, right? Because of the feedback that I've been getting from the podcast, like, oh my God, I relate so much to that story because X, Y, Z. And when I'm going back and forth with people through DMs, I feel like they want to tell me their whole story, but I'm not going to sit there and go that long with you on DMs because it's so hard. I have so many sometimes sitting in there. It's like, okay, I promise I'm going to answer these DMs at some point. I just can't let them keep sitting here for this long. You know what I'm saying? But I thought it would be cool, guys, is if you have an interesting story to tell, if you've been through something that maybe you feel the world could listen to, and you feel like people could learn from your mistake or whatever. If you're part of an organization that does great for the community, I also want to hear from you. And I'd love for you to be my podcast guest, you know what I'm saying? And be part of my Girl Talk episodes when Marissa and I have them, so that we can hear your story. And then I feel like that's also creating a community of women who understand each
because
other.
What? Conversation rules the nation.
Exactly. So I feel like, if we get involved and we listen to each other a little bit more, and I feel like if we listen to other stories, not just mine, yours, or Rob's, I feel like there's a lot of stories people could tell that could maybe, open up our eyes, give us a different perspective, a different point of view. I thought it would be cool to have some of my followers who
into her lounge
to come and join and be in the lounge.
I mean, your address is on the internet anyway, so I mean, who gives a fuck?
We can brainstorm some pretty good ideas.
Fuck it.
So if you are somebody who feels you have a story you'd like to share, or you want to be a part of the Girl Talk episode, shoot me an email at herloungepodcast@gmail.com, exactly the name of our podcast, and tell us a little bit about yourself and about the story, and I'll reach out to you if I feel after we've kind of read them all, which ones we'll have, and we'll schedule you guys to be on, and it will be Zoom, obviously, but I think it would be great for us to hear other stories, other females who've been through some stuff. I'd like to talk about domestic violence. So if you're a domestic violence survivor, I'd love to chat with you, because that's another thing I don't understand. And so I feel like if somebody who's experienced it and can tell us the mental part of it and why someone puts up with it, I think that would maybe give somebody like me a better understanding, because as I'm watching that Jenny Rivera series, I'm like, you're like, bitch,
Really? Really?
like,
Why?
wait, you're staying with them because of your children. You're only causing trauma to your children. What is you talking about? So it's like some
Maybe
of that
he's
stuff.
got the tronco.
Obviously, because she just would.
I'm just saying.
Every time I get it, Pete would be like, he's like, you like stressing yourself? I'm not, because I'd be at the edge and be like, again? She's back with them again? I don't get it. And I told him, I said, you know what? I need to talk to somebody who's a survivor of domestic violence so that I can understand it, because it's something in here.
Yeah, it's obviously deeper.
It's deeper. So I need to understand it. Like, I need to understand it so that I don't feel like, she's so stupid. Like, she's so stupid, because that's the quickest thing for you to say. You know what I'm saying? She's so dumb. Look at her. Look at her going back to him. You know what I'm saying? And it's really not about that. It's way more than that. And I feel like that's also another thing that is not talked about. Child abuse is not talked about. You know what I'm saying? Just a lot of things that we're just always kind of like, ooh.
They're a little bit taboo.
I don't want to talk about that. Sex too. I don't know why sex for people is so weird to me.
I know.
It was funny because when I looked up, that the episode for the women in business with Beth,
the one from the boutique,
yes, was the least listened to.
What?
They'd started. Go, Rob, when you get a chance.
Okay.
Her
Did it
name's
get
Beth
you raw?
Liebling. I think we kept it pretty PG, I felt, because when she was on Chingo's podcast, we talked about everything, like butt plugs
Anal
for
beads.
men, like everything, and like what that does for a man. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, I need to listen to that one.
Well, because for men, that's what helps with their prostate.
Yeah.
Those plugs.
I'm all about helping,
For me, it's like, it's not. My mom used to always tell me, you're like, okay, you're too, like, whenever my sister, she know what my sister was up to. She's like, hey, can you go see what's up with your sister? And I'm like, why? She's like, well, you know how she is. She don't really be talking about it. And I'm like, okay. She's like, with you, I don't have to worry about shit. She's like, you just tell me, like, it's like not a big deal to you, because I just don't want to, what? It's just like, I ain't going to say, Penny, here's a condom. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. There's going to be some conversation behind
But I'm
the
going
condom.
to tell her, you know what I'm saying? Because I want for the day that happens for her, it's because she didn't feel like he pressured her or he made her like she feel like she had to.
It was the first time she ever felt like a queen and a princess.
No, boo boo.
Yeah.
Like, there is a price tag on that. Not anybody gets to have it.
That's
you know what I'm
right.
saying? So it's like, for me, it's like, no, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to say, well, the birds and the bees. And it's like, no, you got to like talk for real to your children.
I think that's why we're all fucked up, because all of these stupid things that they lied to us about everything.
Everything.
Golly.
Y'all, I'm going to tell y'all a story here. I know I kept saying that we're going to get off, but
You didn't say the bird gave the bee chlamydia. You did not say that.
So when and Rob's here, he's going to be like, okay, this is awkward.
God, what happened?
So when I first got, well, I had already had my period, but I had never worn a tampon before. Okay, never. Because, of course, what do tampons do?
They go in the vagina like a penis.
So that takes your virginity away, right?
That means
so
God's going to look bad.
That's what
God's
I was
going to look down on you and you're going to hell.
So that's what I was told forever in my life, that tampons will take your virginity away. So I was like, I can't wear a tampon, right? So I think we're like 14, 15 around there. I've had my period for a hot second. I'm just not knowing this, all right?
Yeah.
So then my girlfriend Trina and I, we're going to go out somewhere. And, you know, that's when it was cool for you to like kind of dress like the same as your friend.
Oh,
and
yeah,
so, you know, you remember that? Mm-hmm. So we were going to wear white Jinko pants.
Oh, Jinko?
Oh, yes.
Dating yourself. here.
Okay. Dating myself big time. If you don't know what that brand is, look it up.
Look it up.
Anyway, they're white. I was like, all right, Trina. So I can't wear them. I said, because I'm on my period and I have to wear a pad and you're going to be able to see the pad. She's like, you wear a pad? That's disgusting. I'm like, what? Why is that disgusting? She's like, you let all your blood just sit there on the pad? And I'm just like,
pretty much.
I never thought about it like that. I was like, that is
blood
pretty
on the
disgusting.
pad means you're not going to hell, right? Because the tampon is what sends you to the fiery pits.
So I was like, okay. She's like, okay, do you want to use a tampon? I'm like, does that take my virginity away? She's like, she looks at me like she busted out laughing. She's like, bitch, who the fuck told you
Our
that?
parents fucked us up,
I said,
man. I'm sorry.
my mom. She goes, oh my God. Her mom was different.
Yeah.
So her mom, you know, she's like, I don't know how many generations Mexican. So,
Yeah.
you know, she's more modern. She was a cool mom. You know what I'm saying? They were like friends. So there was no like weirdness like with me and my mom, you know? So it was like, I was like, my mom said, she's like, you are not losing your virginity with a tampon. She's like, a lot more has to happen for that to happen. I was like, okay, cool. So she gives me the tampon. I'm in the restroom. I'm at my cousin Anna's house. We're all getting ready at my cousin Anna's house. And I'm in the restroom. I'm like, I don't even know how to put this in. So I said, Trina.
You said, girl, help me.
I said, Trina, which hole does it go in?
On that note, guys.
We should just hit stop right after you say that.
And my girlfriend comes in the room. I said, Trina, will you come here?
Where is Trina now?
She's still my friend.
Okay, good.
She's
God
my
bless
friend
Trina.
for life.
God bless Trina.
And,
I love Trina.
And what do you call it? I said, Trina, I said, which hole does it go in? She goes, bitch, you only got one hole. I said, but in school.
No, there's another one, but it's further back.
I said, no, here we go. This is the sex ed in 5th grade.
Lord.
Hold on. Guys, this is how,
You learn.
you know, like oblivious I was, because I was hip, but I was like not, you know, I was raised.
You were hip, but you weren't with it.
Yeah, like I was still not the smartest cookie when it came to that stuff, because it was taught to be so bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you don't do this or you don't do that. So anyway, she's like, I said, well, you know, in school they said we have 3 holes. She goes, bitch, do you know how small your pee hole is? You think you can stick a tampon in there? And she's like, and you're not going to stick it in your booty hole, are you? Because it ain't your booty hole that's bleeding. Damn. So it's the middle hole. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. And I'm like, okay, well then how do I put it in? So she's standing there, y'all. If you're watching this is going to be what she did. So I'm on the toilet. I'm like, she goes, okay, grab it. You're going to stick it in. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. And she's like watching like this, making sure that I'm doing it right.
Oh my God.
And then she goes, I said, okay, I got it. And then she goes, well, where's the plastic part? I said, wait, so I need to put, no, but then she's like, you got to pull that part. And I was like, I was wondering why this was so uncomfortable. Oh. So I didn't pull the plastic part out. And then she's like, you got it? I'm like, got it. And I was like, that's what's up. This is like way better than the pad. You know?
Yeah, you got past the trauma.
So
and you
it was,
moved on,
guys, I know this story right now. Everybody's like grossed out as they're driving, listening, or however you're listening to this.
I'm sure they'll let you know in the comments how much they hated it.
Or loved it.
Or loved it.
They might be into like, same thing happened to them.
Oh my God. But it was awful. So shout out to my friend Trina. She's been my friend she's that one friend where if we don't talk for however long, you bounce right. I see her again. It's like there was nothing was skipped. You know what I'm saying? Yep. It's that one friend, and that's her. She's pretty amazing. But anyway, that was
amazing. She should have put a plug on that. She did.
That's how you know we're in the trust tree here. Talking about that. That's what these episodes are called now. The trust tree.
The circle of trust.
All green
These
lights.
are girl talk episodes. When I say girl talk, they are
I'm
girl
just glad
talk.
you didn't put it in your ass. Thank
I'm
the
glad I
Lord.
asked her which hole, though. Can you imagine?
Actually, it would have been a better story if you had. Like, guy, guess where I put it, guys.
And real quick, I'm sorry, but since we're talking about asses,
Hey.
there are people that I knew back in the days who wouldn't do it in the vag, but they do it in the ass because they thought that.
Yeah, any hole but the holy hole.
Because it's the
Oh,
holy
wow.
hole.
I've never heard that.
It
what?
was. I'm like, but you're still taking it in the ass.
Yo.
Like, I'm serious.
So does that not make you a So that still keeps you a virgin?
Yeah, any hole but the holy hole.
Yep.
You ever watch Working Moms on Netflix?
No.
Oh my! I need to finish it. I need
Dude,
to
I told you
finish
about it 2 years ago. You
Oh,
didn't. It's so.
No, I started watching it, but it's so good. It really
Okay.
is.
It's
My girlfriend Rania was the one who told me about it first, and then you told me. I said, okay, if my girlfriend told me, then because my girlfriend Rania likes a lot of the feminist stuff, so that's why I'm always kind of like, okay, I'll give it a chance.
Nah.
I'm not 100% the whole feminist thing. You know what I'm saying? So when Rob told me, I was like, okay, my best friend told me. Now Rob told me. I was like, this must be good.
it's good.
Javi then told me we were somewhere out of town and we were like sitting down. And he's like, "Have you watched
Working Moms.
Working Moms?" And I was like, "Oh my god, I started, but I haven't finished it because I was watching Pete watching it, and he just kind of didn't look interested." So I was like, "I'm gonna have to watch this on my own time
Yeah,
because
you do.
this is
Doing
not."
cardio or something.
I was like, he doesn't look like he's really into it. Because our friend Javi is a writer. He's like, it's really well written. He's like, you should finish it. It's
Okay, I'm
really
gonna-
good. So you got to watch it. I need to
Okay.
go back.
That's where I got that phrase actually. Any hole but the holy hole.
You did?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I gotta
It's
watch
good.
that.
They're just, it's a really,
watch
it's
that.
I felt like a lot of women can relate to a lot of what
Dude,
all the
of it.
moms are going through.
It's good.
Definitely.
And the main character is a writer and the director.
Oh, she is? I
Kate-
didn't know that.
Yeah, she's,
What?
yeah.
Okay.
And season 4 just came
and
out.
so the writer director's in the show.
She's the main character,
Oh,
yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
You know what I couldn't with her?
The lip.
The teeth.
Oh, the teeth.
Her
and,
teeth are so big because
and the lip. She's got that Bugs Bunny lip. I found it endearing
I gotta
after
watch
a while.
this show.
She's
It's
like,
good.
sis, every time she talked, I'd be like this.
Yeah.
Like,
I found it cute
found
after a
myself
while.
constantly doing that. But she's excellent actress. Excellent. She does
Yeah.
such a good job in it.
Her friend, Danny Kind, the redhead, she's my favorite.
She's the
therapist, the
therapist.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
She's funny too because
Yeah.
I know a couple of my friends that are like that. You know what I'm saying? Where they were like, another fucking kid. What am I going to do with this kid? You know what I'm saying? They were just not. They didn't plan on that other child to
Yeah.
be coming in. But it's definitely one you need to watch, Marissa.
I'm
You're gonna
gonna
be
have to
like,
watch that.
okay, yes.
If enough people from the podcast listen to it, you girls, you know how they do these shows where it's like the Bachelor recap or True Crimes recap. You guys can do a Working Moms
I
recap.
wanted to do the Jenny Rivera one, but that shit is 88 episodes in
That's too
one
many.
season. I'm on 33
In one season?
in one season.
Get the fuck out of here.
And you know what's crazier is that
That's crazy.
that series was actually on Telemundo first, so it came out in 2018.
Oh, shit.
It's trending again because Netflix
Weird.
bought it, and so it's
Got
people who
it.
didn't. I mean, I wasn't watching Telemundo, so I didn't even know that it existed.
existed,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Until recently now, and it's awful how much shit they went through, and I just kind of like, if I were the mom, like not Jenny Rivera, but the mom of all these children, I'd just be like, God damn, how much more stress do I need from y'all? Like, it's just. And they're so old school. Like, you think if my child was having marital issues, I'm not sticking my nose in. I don't give a damn that they're supposed to figure it out.
Yep.
I'm going to go over there and guess what? Let me find out. You go back to him. Let me find out. See what happens.
I'm scared.
yeah, right?
Let me find out. Like, we're not having that happening. It's a house full of females.
Si no te respetas,
Officially.
nadie te va a respetar.
Exactly. That's what my
right.
mom said.
Yeah.
You know, that was big time. And my other thing was, my dad didn't ever spank me. How the fuck am I gonna let some guys hit on me?
With a belt.
My dad hit
Unless
me.
you're into it, you know. Then.
Well, then, I mean, that's a different thing. Those are called
Yeah.
masochists. But you know what I'm saying? My dad, I think, spanked me twice. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, all he needed to do was raise his voice and I knew what was up. You know what I'm saying? So like, it didn't take much. So for me, I always felt, and this was obviously the worst thing you can compare it to, but I used to always feel like my dad didn't do this shit. He didn't treat me like this. He didn't treat my mom like this. So I'm never going to allow some man to do any of these things. Why am I going to allow you? Even with my husband, when he raises his voice, not today. I'm like, you're
Not
up
today,
here.
Chewy.
I need it down here. I said, when we can talk down here at the same level, then we're good to go. Because my dad didn't even do that.
Come back.
Exactly.
Regroup. Come back.
For him, it's like the raising of the voice. For me, I don't know if it's a Libra thing because we just don't really like dealing with confrontation or like dealing with shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't do it. So for me, it's kind of like, either you calm down or we're not talking, because I'm not doing this battling of who's yelling louder. You know what I'm saying? You don't solve anything like that anyway. So why are we doing this? You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it. I'm not. Marissa's like, fuck that. I raised my voice
too many times. But it's okay. We were, you know what? Not really. Not anymore. Ish. I don't know. We're still working on it. But I mean, shit, man, you just have to, again, people like Jenny Rivera or whoever it is that they're going through those relationships, those things. If she were raised in a home like you, then that'd be a little bit different. But these are learned behaviors.
But her dad never hit the mom, or at least they don't show it on the show. But they did show that the dad cheated, and the mom put up with it.
Yeah.
She would never leave. And the one time that she walked in on him kissing on one of his artists, because they own this what is it? This label. She's like, we're done. We're divorcing. And he's like, no. That's not how it works. We don't divorce. We're not divorcing. So
Damn.
This is not happening.
That sounds like me. I say that all the time. Like, look, I'm not fucking this. I'm sorry. If you need a break, go to your room. Like, I'm not starting all over and getting to know someone else.
What's your favorite color?
No, I'm not doing that. No.
Yeah.
Take
That's
a
the same
break.
way how I feel. I'm like, there's nothing that bad to where you need a divorce for, unless you just really can't stand each other. That at that point, it's like, okay, we're out of here. But there's pretty much everything in a marriage you can work on, and you can like make better, unless you've just kind of like officially decided like, yeah, I'm not working on this anymore. I'm done. I'm done trying. Or if neither one is trying, you know what I'm saying? Then that's when it's like, okay, we need to chunk the deuce, because obviously we're not seeing eye to eye. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
but there's a resolution to everything.
like for me, I disagree that my parents, after 20 something years, divorced over financial issues. Yeah. I feel like that could have been something that could have been worked on. So for me, I felt like the day that I got married, I was never going to let that be an issue for me. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you work through it together, you figure it out. You're going to have stress, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, obviously, but you work it out and you figure that out. I think we talked about this on the marriage episode, if you guys heard, where I said the only thing that I find hard is the cheating one.
That's the one that I feel is like, look, I will put up with all your fucking personalities and your, you raising your voice and being crazy and okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I can put up with that and we can work through it. But I'm only doing that because in my mind, you're at least loyal.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't do that, that might be one we can't work through.
Yeah. See, that's the only one that I feel like it would be too hard, because I'd be that person and be like, nah, you remember what you did? Like, I'd get over it for a minute, but then something would trigger and I'd be like, fuck that shit. You remember when you did? And I know myself. So why even go there? You're just going to continue to be miserable for what?
Yep.
And at that point, I kind of feel like you've broken this trust. That's going to be hard to ever
very hard
bring
to
back there again, to where it's always
some people do. Some
a lot of people do get through it, and they go to counseling.
But I can't.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I just think it's too hard. But you know what I was thinking about yesterday? So somebody made did Pete tell you about the Plenty of Fish account?
No.
So somebody used his email address, right? Oh, I can't believe y'all didn't talk about it on the podcast.
We had a guest today.
Ah, okay. That's probably why.
We were talking about Congress.
Oh, okay.
Good.
And so
that's important.
he texts me and he sends me a screenshot, right? And I'm like, who does that? And that's all it was. And then when I was like sitting there, like afterwards, I thought about it. I'm like, I trust him so much that I didn't even question. Because listen, everybody is capable of cheating.
Of course.
Everybody is. I don't care what anybody says. We're all capable of cheating. So there's always that little percentage that it could happen, right? So, but the fact that I just sat there and been, all I said was like, who the fuck took your email and did that? I'm like, it's such a unique email. On top of that, for anybody to guess it and use it, I was like, I didn't even question it. I didn't say, let me get on there to see.
Relationship goals.
Like, I just started to like, and then I said, bitch, you should have been questioning this shit instead of you just like.
But who has the time?
And he was like, you know, his mind goes somewhere else. Someone's trying to.
Getting loud again.
This is weird. Like, what is this? Somebody trying to cause some kind of like, you know, his conspiracy starts to kick. You know, he starts. He sees it. He took it way to the other side. Meanwhile,
someone's trying to sabotage me.
Exactly.
From
Who
the
is doing
inside
it?
out.
Exactly.
From the
That was his. And I was like, my thing was like, damn, who the hell? You know what I'm saying? That's fucked up. I left it alone. And then when I thought about it, I was like, I didn't even question. I have that much trust in him that I don't question. And I said, you need to put your guard just a little bit back up. Like, it's way down, like to the point where, you know, you don't even question or think that he would do something like that to you, which I know it wasn't him, right?
Yeah.
Because he went down a rabbit hole where he was checking and who did this? Why was this done? You know what I'm saying? His mind was somewhere else, right? Meanwhile, I was like, what? Because he still was talking about it when he goes, can you believe that shit? But my email though, it's not even a common email. Don't you find that weird?
I think people can find those though.
Well, it's on his, I think on his page, it's our business, which it goes to me. That's why he felt it was like, who's doing this? You know what I'm saying? And so it was funny because he was still like,
it's the Democrats.
Yeah, right.
He was still trying to figure it out. And meanwhile, I'm like, totally over it, totally forgot about it, didn't even like.
You're like, what's for dinner?
Yeah. Excuse me, I didn't even question it. And then it was like, I don't know what made me analyze. Like, it came back to me and I said, hey, wait a minute, girl. You're like, your guard is way down. Like, you're too secure. Like, you know, which is not a bad thing.
Good.
It's a good thing. But if you think about it, it's like, hey, bring it up just a little bit. You need to still have a little bit of doubt because just in case you're not. My thing is always the just in case so that so you're not disappointed when it does happen, and then you get over shit and you don't let it get to you. That's always my thing. Yeah. So I don't like the Inside Out movie. I don't let this emotion deal with this emotion. You know what I'm saying? I let them know this one controls, and we're not finna be sitting here crying and pouting about it. You got it, cool. See what I'm saying? So
and
you just kind of move on.
I feel you on that.
That's kind of like, that's the control freak in me. I have no idea. But that's how I control my emotions. I don't know about y'all, but that's how I deal with it. We have a little chat in the shower usually. I'm like, what is you mad about today, girl? Calm down.
Those are good.
Yeah.
Shower chats are good.
Yeah. I like having those too. Yep. Those are probably my favorite. It's the only time I get to myself 100%. And usually I do it when Penny's in the shower because she likes to play in the tub, which means I can take about a 30-minute shower. And I'm just sitting there listening to a podcast. Guys, okay, no, for real. I got a birthday party that I need to go to. And it's already late. But let me finish with this. I found this gadget on the damn YouTube.
Siri's listening to you.
Oh, here we go.
I got a gadget on YouTube. Yes. I mean, I'm sorry, on Instagram.
Okay.
You know, the little ads. It's the square. Not that you need the phone in the shower, but it's this thing almost where you open it up, you put your phone in there, and now you can listen to your podcast. You forward it. You can watch our podcast on YouTube while you're in the shower. You know what I'm saying?
That.
And it covers up, it protects it, everything. I just ordered it from there.
I'm glad. Yes. I'm gonna have to get one because I put my phone in the shower.
See, I put it on on my counter, and then I'm wiping the mirror like this to watch, like not the mirror, the glass door to see what's happening, and but I'm listening. And so I was like, when I saw that, I was like, who was thinking about this?
Oh my God, who else is sick like me? Putting my phone in the shower.
Looking at my brain that I said, because I said, you know what needs to be invented? They need to invent something where you can bring your phone in. Like, okay, did y'all have a shower radio back in the days?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I did. I always had a shower radio, and as soon as I'd get ready, and mine had a CD player, so when I'd get ready for work or whatever, I'd play I'd be jamming.
I would jam out. Yeah.
So I was like, why haven't they made something like this for cell phones? I literally thought it. And then
crazy
Instagram had it, and I was like,
God, they think about
Who the
everything,
hell's listening to
don't they?
that? Yeah. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening to this 2-hour episode. I told you, girl.
Was it 2 hours?
These girl talk
148.
episodes go
I love them.
hard. So don't forget, guys, if you'd love to be a guest on our podcast, you got a great story. You got something to share. We'd love to hear it. Marissa and I would love for you to be a part of our Girl Talk episodes. It's Her Lounge Podcast at gmail.com. We'll read through them and see who's going to be our first guest. So thank you guys so much for listening. I really appreciate it. If you have anybody toxic in your life, make sure you dismiss them. Don't allow them to take up any of your good energy.
Amen.
Because this is 2021. There's bigger issues that we should be dealing
Amen.
with. And we just need to live a better and positive life. So peace out, guys. Thank you for listening.